What is up, rockers of the Rock Nation? This is your fellow rocker here, Rockerman X, and I am back with my review for The Walking Dead, and so happens to be for Season 5, Episode 13. That means there's 3 more episodes left of this season, sadly. In this episode, for Episode 13, is titled Forget. And before I start this, I apologize that I really haven't posted that many videos lately. I know I've been posting about once or twice a week, maybe. But really about once a week lately. Around once a week. And I'm going to try to fix that once a week. I'm going to try to post anywhere between 2 to... I'm going to try to post a video about 2-3 times a week. At a minimum. Probably a max as well. Just depends on how it goes, like, you know. But that's just what I'm... Oh, man. Excuse me, but like I said, like before I start anything, I'm going to try to post about 2 to 3 times a week. A video at least. Well, yeah, obviously be a video, but you get my point. Whether it be from gaming or whatever. Then I haven't posted gaming lately and stuff like that, so... Maybe do raw... You know what I'm trying to say? But enough of that to my Walking Dead review for, like I said, Season 5, Episode 13, Forget. And this episode, again, it's just, I don't know. Well, I mean, I really don't know what to say about the episode. It wasn't really action-packed, which I understand, because it's trying to focus more around the group getting used to Alexandria, and that's what all these episodes has been predominant. All these episodes has really been predominant with, especially this one. And you see that more in this one than really anything else. Because as I go through this, you will tell that certain group, you know what I'm trying to say? But just to start off this episode, the first thing that I really want to talk about and how stupid it is, and also how kind of smart it is that, wait, I had to say is, who's Deanna? Yeah, but I'm going to speak up Deanna here for a second. Politician, all that, but anyway. Deanna, I don't know what to say about her. I mean, again, she was a politician before the apocalypse, and you wonder how she really was and all that, but I just find her stupid and smart at the same time. Because how she thinks that people shouldn't be armed inside the walls, or even have a lookout in the bell tower or whatever. Which I find that really kind of stupid, per se. I find it stupid in a sense that with Rick, with him saying that's people you gotta look out for, stuff like that. And there's nobody armed patrolling the wall, or nobody in the lookout in the bell tower or whatever. And I do want to speak about Rick and stuff like that too, but again, she's stupid for the fact is, as it is, there's nobody looking out for the city. Then again, they are kind of secluded, but the point is, there's nobody looking out for the city or for the little town of Alexandria and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's smart because it'll stop people from, you know, killing or hurting each other for the most part. At least for the fact, or at least killing. But then again, you can kill people with about anything if you try to. And about the cocktail party, other than it being weird, and weird for the show to have a cocktail party of all things in the apocalypse, but with the A obviously standing for Alexandria, but I wonder what that stamp actually stands for, especially with, well, of course, the W or the M, whatever it is, etched in the walker's head. It's like Alexandria A, saying, I feel like it's some kind of gang activity, to be honest, in a way. That's how I see it. But then again, you don't know. I mean, that's just how I see it. At least with the W and stuff. But, yeah, here we have... But then, to the fact of... With Rick, Carol, and Daryl out at the one building, and they're talking about things, which leads me to say, yeah, of course, with the W or the M, I don't know how exactly... I'm assuming it's the W, but I'm not sure. But etched into the walker's forehead. You know, I kind of wonder, as I said, if it's not a gang doing it or some sort of gang. Which, if you read the comic books, it probably is. So, spoilers to that. I think I said I'm Talking Dead. It's called the Wolves or whatever. I'm not sure. So, probably W on the forehead. But still. But, around this, though, we have, like, Rick, Carol, and Daryl plotting a security detail / takeover. More assumingly a takeover. Because you can tell just how they're acting. And what I heard people say, whether Rick and the group are becoming the bad guys or not, I don't think they are. I think it's just like Rick in his mind, that he's been out there and the group's been out there for so long. You can't just back off and relax and just enjoy yourselves. You have to sort of be up there and be attentive and still be alert and still be, you know what I'm saying? You have to still be in that apocalypse mindset like they are. Especially Carol in this episode, and let's just say Carol. I will get more on that in a minute. But, in a way, whether or not Rick and the group is being the bad guys, or the anti-heroes per se, honestly, I don't think they are. I mean, even if they are, no matter what, I'm still on Rick's and the group's side. Simple as that, because we can't. And the main reason why is because, as fans, we came to love and respect the group. We've been more through their countless losses, their hard times, than anyone else's. And Alexandria, I still don't feel like I can trust Alexandria. I honestly don't feel like you can trust them, no matter how nice they act. Sometimes, I mean, the only people in Alexandria I really think you can trust, right? Out of the people we've actually met, sorry for the stutter, but out of the people we actually met with Alexandria, Jessie you can trust, because it's Jessie. She's harmless. Well, not necessarily harmless, but she doesn't seem like a bad person. And if you look from Daryl's point of view, you can kind of tell how to scope a bad and good person out, but like I said, Jessie's a good person. I'm assuming the kids are obviously a good person that we met, but let me think. There's one more. Aaron and Eric. I think it's Aaron and Eric. I think that's the two people's names. Apologize if I get them wrong. They're obviously nice people. Especially Aaron, which I get more on him in a minute. And like I said, to me, Alexander's a fake Hayden, and those three, for the most part, I think are the only three you can trust other than the kids. But outside of what I was going to say about Carol, Daryl, and Rick, is Carol, as I was going to get to, this is probably one out of my, I'm going to say possibly 3 favorite parts in the show. Possibly. Because as much as I love Carol, this is the first time you really get to see her freaky as fuck. And I was sitting like, when Carol was talking before I say anything though, Carol, she's playing it smart by acting like she doesn't know anything about guns. And I like that plan. But as this plan of hers keeps going, her wearing the more, as Kevin Smith said on Talking Dead, these mom MILF sweaters, and we all know what a MILF is, but I'm not even going to say anything on that. I just laughed my ass off. But as she keeps wearing these more mom-looking sweaters, it's just, she gets freakier, and it's kind of... let's just say it's during that part with Sam, when she was threatening Sam about saying, oh, well, you don't tell anybody, and you get cookies. You tell your mommy. Yes, it did say mommy, so you tell your mom, and you're dead. And she's possibly going to do it to him. Then again, I know she was doing it just to freak out the kid. She's the best babysitter ever, just saying. Maybe, I don't know. But it makes sense for her to threaten the kid like that. I don't think she was necessarily threatening him. I think it was like supposed to be one of those scary story type things that babysitters sometimes tell the kids, or even the parents would tell their kids again to behave, stuff like that. But the whole time Carol was like that with Sam, I was like, oh shit, Carol. Literally, I laugh. The bad thing is just how fucked up in the head I am, and I admit I'm fucked up in the head a little bit when it comes to some things. I wasn't like, I knew I was supposed to be creeped out, and I was a little bit, but I was laughing my ass off. That's how funny it was Carol. I thought Carol was there in that part. But then after Carol, of course, I'm going to speak with Daryl's behalf. Because Daryl, you can tell that he's slowly adjusting to what I was saying. Oh yeah, you can tell that Daryl is slowly adjusting to Alexandria in his own way. Like, he goes out, hunts, does whatever, and of course Aaron. And I'm not going to assume he was hunting rabbits, but Elmer Fudd wabbits. I think he was honestly just following him to get him to talk to him. And they have this, as Talking Dead said, the bromance, but they sort of bond a bit. And you can tell how they bond, especially afterwards when Daryl attempts to goes out to the party, but yet and of course, he can't. He's not a people person though. He attempts at something party to come back. Aaron invites him in. Talks about spaghetti, stuff like that, and I just find it funny. Not trying to be rude here to anybody about how the gay guys there. Well, I don't want to label them gay guys, but they are gay, or at least bi. Probably more so gay. Not trying to be rude, as I said. But they're they're eating spaghetti all nice and fancy, and Daryl's just there like slurping it down. I just find that funny. But we get possibly my third favorite moment, my second out of the three favorite moments, is obviously, in the midst we see Daryl get a bike, or at least he has to fix it up, and then he gets it. But he's possibly willing to help Aaron as a new scouter. Because, you don't want Eric to go out again, risk his life, stuff like that. Or a recruit. There's a better way of putting it. And but throughout this whole thing, I just like how Daryl adjusted. Because no matter how he adjusts, he's still the Daryl that we love. Simple as that. I'm talking to the females mostly when I say love. Because we all know all the females want to fuck the shit out of Daryl. Some guys. But still. Somebody else you want to say. But, yeah, just the way he adjusts, it's still Daryl. Simple as that. And how he just agrees to be the recruiter. Of course, I think it's just because of the bike. And then, really, here comes the part that I find about Rick the most. I want to talk about how Rick kisses and I had to look up her name because I forgot her name, but how Rick kisses Jesse's cheek. And for most people, that would come off as just a normal cheek kiss, especially, she's holding Judith, or, you know what I'm saying? And, honestly, as Carl has interest in Emma, I think was the girl's name, which, I don't know about her, but Rick definitely has interest in Jesse, and Jesse may have interest for Rick as well, even though she's married, so it's something wrong there. And you can tell her husband's jealous. At least at the point when Rick's thinking about shooting him. Because there was that point where Rick draws back the gun, after the meeting when Carol gets the weapons, Rick grabs the gun. Daryl says he wants to try. He goes, but then he thinks twice, and then he goes and he strokes the wall, which is just, you can obviously tell Rick has some interest in her. Especially if he's probably going to shoot her husband. But I think at the same time, too, as you can tell that Rick's sort of I think it's just an instinct, because as I want to say this, that's probably still trending on Twitter, as Jesse's husband, I forget his name, I forget his name, but as he was being a porch dick, yes, I said it like that, I think it's just a drawback with Rick, and probably the rest of the members like, oh, he's a bad person, bam, kill him, whatever. And that's just how I see it as well, but at the same time, well, yeah. Simple as that, but in a way, I still want to see where this goes, because Rick, he hasn't had, since Lori, I think season 3 was when she had Judith. Yeah, season 3. I'm pretty sure. If not, fuck me. And no, I don't literally mean that. He hasn't had it, but since season 3, when Lori had Judith and, Carl had to kill her, I don't think he hasn't really had a partner or a love interest per se, so I want to see where this goes. Simple as that. Especially with Jesse, you can tell obviously has some, like I said, interest for Rick, especially when they connect eyes when she's walking away from him at the party. And I still say that party is just the most weird and awkward thing, and especially for an apocalypse. I can imagine how the cast felt, at least the group, at least Rick's group. I keep believing it was Rick's group, but it's true. They're a family, still. And of course, Noah, he's trying to cope with being in a different place. They try to help him. I think, wasn't it Glenn and Maggie? Yeah, it's Glenn and Maggie, obviously. Help him, bring him out. But then Michonne retiring her katana. I'm sorry, Michonne without her katana is just so fucking weird. Now, she didn't necessarily retire because she knows where it's at. It's not like, as I said, I'm talking to her, she didn't throw it out or anything. But still, it's just weird that she's retiring it. I mean, honestly, I would have kept it on me at all times, even if I was a cop. It would come in handy no matter what. Simple as that. Not really much to talk about there. But here's the main thing. Here's the part, too, with Sasha in the beginning. And you can tell she's slowly not focused on adjusting to Alexandria. I don't know how to word this. I think she's focused on trying to adjust to Alexandria, but at the same time she can't, because here we see the family, and I think that has to do with Tyrese, the family stuff like that, and she takes the pictures out for target practice, which again, I think it's fine to her way of trying to cope with Alexandria, as well as, or trying to cope with Alexandria, trying to adjust Alexandria, as well as trying to cope with the death of Tyrese. I mean, I know she's had like a few weeks or so, almost about a month. I want to say about a month. Well, not a month, but I'm gonna say couple weeks to grief. Few weeks. I'm gonna say about a month. That'd be probably more appropriate. About a month of grief, but still, I understand, because she lost Bob, and then right around that time she lost her brother, on-screen brother, Tyrese. But still. But then later on in the party with her outburst, like, is that what you're worried about? That outburst. After his flashback, she's having a Bob being eaten, or at least in her head, of seeing him being eaten, and of course the flashback with them covering over Tyrese, her losing him. But you can tell, like I say, she's still trying to focus. She's still trying to cope with Bob's death as well. And it's becoming sort of difficult for her to adjust, and that's why you can even tell the next morning or so that Deanna's pissed off about her outburst. But, I think, like I said, it's just Sasha's way of coping, especially in the morning when she's, like, with the zombies, or shooting things, and she hears the zombies, stuff like that. That's probably for Tyrese, but still, you get my point. But she's just sitting there, and she's like, come and get me. So I think in a way she's still trying to keep strong and not lose her focus. And as I say that, this scene's actually coming on of her seeing the pictures. But I think it's her way of, as I would say, Rick as well. This would be her way, or is the Rick and Daryl stuff like that, is to be her way of trying to remember, hey, this world still isn't safe. This is still an apocalypse. This is still the zombie apocalypse and all that. I have to keep, I have to keep focused still with that. You can't just sit back and relax. Simple as that. I think it's like that. And like I said, this is for everybody to adjust, to being safe as well as keeping focus. This episode was, and I liked it. No really complaints. Well, there is one complaint, but it's not really minor. I want to know is, why the hell, in the beginning of the season, they were so heavily on teasing Morgan, And now we have no idea where he is. I think the last place we've seen him was the church. Now we have no idea where we've seen him. And I will say, too, in this episode, Drunk Abraham's funny as fuck. At least, yeah, to me, Drunk Abraham is funny. But anyway, this episode, like I said, I'm not complaining. I like this episode. Like I said, I want to see where Rick and Jesse goes. I want to see how Daryl adjusts. Sasha, I want to see how just Michonne, how she adjusts to being the cop without the katana. I just want to see how Carol, you know, will she ever get caught, and how creepy Carol's going to be getting later on. I just find Carol, like I said, it's just funny how she worked out. But overall, like I said, this episode, I liked it. I'll probably end up giving about four. I don't know how to explain this. Actually, I might give it a 5-star for what it was. For what it is, a 5-star. But overall, for this episode, about 4.3, so roughly about a 4. But overall, like I said, this episode was a good one. Didn't disappoint. It's something what we were expecting, but anyway, that's really all I gotta say about this episode. And until next time, rockers, live free and rock.